Hi, I'm Patrick O'Grady, the technology reporter for the Phoenix Business Journal. I'm here with Pat Clausen from Lumention. Today we're going to talk a little bit about whitelisting, specifically the misconceptions about whitelisting. And Pat, what are some of the misconceptions that people have? You know, are there a couple, a handful? What are they?
There are probably about 4 or 5 key misconceptions or misperceptions about whitelisting today. I think the first one to try and address for prospective buyers or investors in a whitelisting technology going forward is that this whole next generation of whitelisting technology, what we refer to as intelligent whitelisting at Lumention, is much, much more flexible than it's ever been before. And a lot of the emphasis on flexibility has been driven at trying to free up the responsibility of IT departments to have to manage it, really putting it in autopilot, much like antivirus has operated in the years gone by. The vendor was responsible for keeping the updates fresh, pushing them out to all the different machines within an enterprise via the tools that are provided. So some of the concepts that come with that to help understand it, things like trusted change and trusted updater. They allow some of your more common programs to have a pass-through if they're coming directly from a trusted author, such as a Microsoft, such as an Adobe, or even us, Lumention's patch management solution. That allows a pass-through for a patch from our system through to the endpoint machines without requiring IT to get in the middle of it and manually handle creating a new whitelist, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. You mentioned a little bit about some of the technology. Is it difficult to use for people? Can IT departments implement it pretty well?
No, whitelisting today is much easier to use. Actually, significant advancements have been made in the way we use it to help IT departments suffer much less in terms of administrative overhead. The best way to probably look at it is understanding some of the concepts that we've deployed, such as clean it, lock it, and trust it. The way that rolls out is this. By fully incorporating 3 key technologies into intelligent whitelisting, one of which is antivirus. What we've established is that any network that we're going to be deploying on is going to be brown. It's going to have some dirty in it, and we just have to be able to deal with that. So by laying down our enterprise antivirus, we can take a look at a targeted portion of the network or the whole network and make decisions about what's known to be bad and get it off the network. The next thing we allow to do is a lockdown. We can lock down a component of the network, a user, a machine, a group, anything Active Directory will serve up to us, and we can lock it down. And once we do that, we're now able to keep any type of critical creep from happening for those machines. Nothing else is allowed to come on them and infect them. So in a sense, we're creating a first pass at a whitelist, and then we have the opportunity to continue to trust it, which is the next stage. Leveraging our endpoint integrity services and our relationships with the different software manufacturers around the world to make sure that what applications you're requesting to be used for your end users are really the ones that the manufacturers have created. They came from the approved download sites, and they're clean.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. What about cost? I know a lot of businesses watching the bottom line. How is that impacted?
The way we're approaching this is we do not want to ask our prospects or our existing customers for new budget money. The intelligent whitelisting component is going to be priced exactly as traditional endpoint antivirus has been priced within the enterprise. So we're asking you to take a look at ours, which is a combination of enterprise antivirus and our application control technology at the exact same price point that you're currently paying just for the antivirus component.
Is it important to have those kind of 2 components together, the antivirus and the whitelisting?
Absolutely it is, and for a couple different reasons. It's a very good question. The first thing, and some of the things you asked me in the previous interview, and certainly in this one, is about flexibility, it's about usability, it's why was it not so used before versus why it might be more used now within environments. Look, with so many laptops and desktops out there, the only way that an enterprise can really move forward in terms of security is to do more than just antivirus. Okay? Antivirus can only keep up with so much. What application control allows you to do is make decisions about machines or users within your enterprise and affect policies that can ratchet up their security or down their security based on who they are. And really what intelligent whitelisting allows you to do is a full marriage of antivirus and application control, or the whitelisting technology, so that by user or by machine, anywhere within your enterprise, you can make true trusted decisions. An analogy, if you're a snow ski instructor and you're at the top of the mountain, right? You've got to make decisions about your skiers that are with you and who can go down what slopes. Now, if I have a beginner, but they really want to run down that double black, I might have to say, you're not allowed to, because you're going to wind up in a body cast by the time you're at the bottom. Well, we're able to make similar decisions about certain types of users that we know we're not going to give too much rope to, because they will expose not only themselves and their machines, but the rest of our enterprise to risk.
Okay. What kind of decisions does a corporation need to make before it implements whitelisting?
So traditionally, with whitelisting, where it's been successful, it's been on more static build environments. We see it on ATM machines where the banks don't want those configurations changing very much, and antivirus isn't enough of a protection tool. We see it at point-of-sale machines in large retail environments. Again, they don't want any type of change unless they're making a conscious decision to change programming on one of those machines. We see it on mission-critical servers that are sitting inside banks or government entities or really any type of a business that you don't want any type of change on there. And again, you don't want to accept the type of risk that might come with antivirus. So how much of your enterprise has that? Then you want to take a look at and try to understand what machines within your enterprise and what users are exposing you to the greatest amount of risk today. Today we've learned that it's the endpoints that are the greatest form of risk, not only because so much of our sensitive corporate data is on there, but also with the growth of Web 2.0 and social networking, we're seeing an enormous amount of malware being propagated through our end users, and we're seeing data drifting off of our systems that should never be drifting off of our systems.
Are there any other things that people should look for in whitelisting?
Well, I think the ultimate thing to try and get with whitelisting is that it's going to be operationally beneficial. We're not going to be asking enterprises for more money than they're already spending. The budget already exists. This is just a better purposing of those same budget dollars. And we get asked often, what's the value proposition? Why do I want to do this? How does this make sense if I'm a small, medium business or I'm a much larger enterprise? And if you close your eyes for a second and you imagine a graph, and really that graph is starting off on the left-hand side, we see the malware exceptions or the malware forms on a rapid rate of increase over the last several years, so much so that it's out of control. And then following that line is the number of incidents that are happening within our own enterprises. And down at the bottom, what followed at the very beginning, but now is flattened off, is the technology that we have in place to try and deal with those risks that are being thrown at us. Really, what our job is, what intelligent whitelisting does, it allows you to make a decision about moving that incident line right back down to where the technology is, or as close to it as you want to get. And that's the big difference. That big gap in there is the amount of money and time you spend as an enterprise, small, medium, or large, chasing incidents and chasing risk. And our job here is, with intelligent whitelisting, is to give you an operational way of bringing that cost line back down to a controllable state, if that makes sense.
Well, it does. All right. All right. Well, listen, Pat, thanks for the time. We appreciate it again, talking about a little bit about whitelisting. And we'll be back again to talk a little bit more about it.